Welcome back to a new year of the Owl Pod. For those of you that might have forgotten, or if it's your first time listening, I'm your host, David Litvin. Alongside me, my beloved co-host,
Amelia Wright. New year, new pod, same us.
Same us. You're stuck with us for another year, or we'll see.
Semester.
I mean, they kept us on. They retained us for our, we call it season 2.
Yeah, I guess.
They retained us for season 2. We'll see. I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves. We got
They can always stop it.
We got plenty of weeks, hopefully, in season 2. But we're back. I know we've been absent the last couple of weeks. I'm sure you've missed us. I know the Owl Faithful has missed us. But we got a lot to talk about today. It's just going to be us. Next week, we will have our first guest of season 2. TBD.
2026.
TBD. If you have someone you want to talk to, if there's a sport you want to get on the podcast, feel free to reach out to us. You know where to find us, at the Owl Pod on Instagram. Fire in those DMs for your recommendation. Also, if you have any questions, we are still looking for a first question to answer on the podcast. Maybe season 2, we'll have a little bit more participation from our listeners. But
we would love it, guys.
We would love it. But if anything, fire in those DMs. Let us know what sport or what athlete we should bring on the pod. And we'd be more than happy to do that. But let's do what we always do. Give a little recap. I know we've been out a couple weeks. A lot to talk about. Let's talk about our sports that are currently in season. I want to kick it off with women's basketball.
Sure. Yeah, so conference play started for both our basketball teams. We'll get into men's basketball after. But women's basketball started off, and they're 1-2 in the conference. They had a really dominant win against Wichita State. Tough UTSA loss.
Yeah, that was a tough game. They found themselves down pretty big entering the fourth quarter. They came all the way back, made it a really close game. That was the first time that Tristan Taylor returned to play after suffering an injury early on in the season. So it was great to see her back on the court.
Huge leader on the court.
Presence was definitely felt in that game, but the Owls came up a little short. But like you said, they bounced back against Wichita State, picking up a big win. I think they won 70-50, so a nice 20-point margin of victory. And then yesterday, which I guess for those listening would be 2 days ago,
Sunday,
they took on the Tulsa Golden Hurricanes in Tulsa, and again found themselves down pretty big in this match. Battled back towards the end, but still came up on the wrong side and suffered a 13-point loss. High-scoring game, 94-81, something like that.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Putting up points. But the Owls will return the action. You want to promote this? This feels like something you were talking about.
Oh, yeah. So the Owls are going to be back in Liacoris. And like we've said previously on the pod, they have a really good record at Liacoris. So hoping to continue that in the new year. And they're taking on Tulane today when the podcast comes out, Tuesday. And they're actually doing a Nintendo Switch giveaway, which is something I've never heard of Owls doing, the Owls.
It feels like a pretty nice giveaway on a Tuesday night.
Yeah. But
so make your way over to Liacoris.
Yeah.
You can see the Owls take on the Tulane Green Wave. Let's move. I feel like it makes sense. If we're talking women's basketball, let's hit on men's basketball.
Oh, yeah, we have to.
Feels like when we left off, they were taking on Davidson. They won that game, and then they went on to win the next 5 games.
That was a close game, Davidson. But
that was a close game.
Owls came out on top.
They pulled it out, and they went on a 5-game heater. And that puts their win total 7-game win streak. They're just rolling through conference play to start. They're 3-0 in conference play, picking up some pretty big wins. They started on the road at Charlotte. First time they've won in Charlotte since I think 2012, I heard.
Wow.
So it's been a long time since they won there. That could be wrong, but I know it's been a long time.
You usually are wrong.
Yeah, usually wrong.
With numbers,
when I pull out those random stats, usually like a couple year or 5 off.
How many wins does the basketball team have, David? 20,000?
It's a sensitive subject. Sensitive subject.
It's
anyway,
200, 2,000.
Anyway, it's definitely more than 200.
It's 2,000.
Yeah, not the biggest like stat podcast out here. That's okay.
We trust David too much with the stats.
Yeah, definitely trust me too much. But one thing we know is they went to Charlotte and they won that game. Then they came home. They beat up on UTSA. That was kind of cool. So the men's played UTSA like Saturday, like January 3rd at noon, and then the women played right after. So it was a UTSA day. Remember, like, did you ever have like field days growing up?
Yes.
Felt like that.
Okay.
A lot of road runners in town. Anyway, too many Roadrunners. And then they bounced back a couple of days later, took on ECU at home, and they beat them.
For Western game.
And that's right.
If,
you were at that game.
Yeah, if you didn't know, they gave out Temple basketball hats, and they're awesome. Yeah. I'm so happy I got there 30 minutes early to get it.
It's funny you say that because I remember I was actually in Florida for this game. I remember tuning in, loyal Temple Owl fan. Tuning in, and I just see the audience. Everyone's in a cowboy hat.
It was so funny.
This must be some giveaway. And it worked. Temple really controlled that game. Felt like from start to finish. Coming out with a win, 75-67. Our guy, LeBron Frames. He's on a bit of a tear right now, you could say.
I think he's gone Player of the Week for at least 2 weeks now.
Yeah,
Maybe
he was
third.
on. I know he's just named to the honor roll. Man, he feels like he's just coming to his own ever really since conference play started. It just felt like he's elevated his game, shooting the ball remarkably from beyond the field. In this game against ECU, he was 9 of 16 from the field, but 5 of 7 from three-point land. And the Owls really needed it. He delivered 24 points. He had 4 blocks in that game.
That's insane.
Just really becoming a dominant presence for this team. Remember at the beginning of the season, it was really Darian Ford leading the way on offense. He's still contributing. He had 18 points against ECU. But really, Frames has stepped it up in a big way.
Our guy Frames has set a new career high in the last 2 games. I think it was 22 in the game before ECU, and then 24 is now his new career high. So he's doing great things for sure.
Yeah, and I think moving forward as we look at their schedule, this week is a tough week for this team, but they're well rested. They've had, by the time they play Memphis, they'll have had a week off when they go to Memphis, and
that's on Wednesday.
That's always a big game. Last year, remember, they had the whiteout game at home. They beat Memphis. This Memphis team statistically is not as good. I think they have 7 losses. I think they're 8-7. I think they've already picked up a conference loss, so I think they're 2-1 or 2-1 in conference.
Don't trust us on the stats.
Yeah, again, I didn't sound too confident because I just skimmed over the rankings. But
it's going to be an important game.
The point is, it's not the same caliber of Memphis team, but they are still a good basketball team, and it's going to require a valiant effort from the Owls on the road to get that done. And then they come back on Sunday, and they take on a really solid FAU team at home. So, as we look ahead, they're 3-0 in conference play. They find themselves at the top of the standings. And Joe Lenardi, who, if those of you don't know, is a bracketologist, I actually read that he currently has the Owls seeded as a 14 seed in March Madness, which would obviously be really exciting. And obviously the easiest,
and that's a great number, 14.
The easiest path to March Madness is to win your conference. The easiest path to win your conference is to find yourself at the top of the standings at the end of the year. So if the Owls keep racking up these conference wins, they will do that. And this week's really important. 2 really good teams go on the road. I'll be watching that game on Wednesday very closely, and optimistically, just based on how the Owls have been playing. So really exciting times for the men's basketball team. Super excited. I know they had a bit of a tough stretch at the beginning of the season.
We don't even remember it. It's 7-0 now.
Really, it was that Georgian Court game that really,
it's a new season for them too.
Started a winning streak, and they've just been rolling. So super excited for that program.
Yeah, you always say conference is a new season, and I think the Owls are definitely in that mindset. They're 3-0 right now.
100%. They're 3-0, and hopefully by the time we're recording, they're 5-0 next week.
Knock on wood.
Let's move on to fencing, who really get their season started. I know they've had a couple of competitions before winter break, but coming out of break, they got the Philadelphia Invitational this upcoming weekend that starts at home on Friday, January 16th. Philadelphia Invitational, pretty self-explanatory. A lot of the Philadelphia schools and the schools in the area will be, for the first day, will be at Temple. Schools like Lafayette, obviously Penn, and then a couple other regional schools. And then looks like the second day will be actually over at Penn. So I think this is, and I'm reading between the lines here because I'm not the most, I wouldn't consider myself an expert in this sport.
You're working on it though.
Day 2 is on Sunday, and that's over at Penn. So we will have a full recap next week on how fencing does. But wanted to shout that out if you're in the area Friday or Sunday and want to watch some competitive fencing. You know where they'll be. Let's move over to gymnastics, who we haven't talked a lot about on this podcast. For our loyal listeners, first guest we had was Amelia Budd, and they really, I guess, officially started their season last week on January 4th when they traveled to Rutgers for their opening meet, where they scored a team score of 191.35. Some key performances to shout out. They had a freshman by the name of Ava Sutphin who scored a 9.8 on bars in her debut routine, which for those of you that are not as familiar with the scoring of gymnastics, 9.8 is a very, very good score. And considering it's their first ever competition in college, makes it all that more impressive on bars. She delivered a great routine and scored really high for the Owls. Who also scored really high was the previously mentioned Amelia Budd, who scored a 9.775 on the floor, which led the Owls in that rotation, and also delivered a 9.725 on vault, which again led the Owls for that event. And, overall, and then one other person to shout out, Robin Dunn, a sophomore. She delivered an excellent beam performance and scored a 9.7. And I think the first meet, I feel like you could probably speak to this as well for games. Like the first meet, really shaking out a lot of nerves. Just trying to get your feet settled, especially a lot of new freshmen, a lot of new faces. Mm-hmm. Sport like gymnastics, obviously nerves, all those things can definitely impact performance. So I think first meet was really about shaking those nerves, ripping off the cobwebs. And they traveled, pretty quickly after that meet down to Florida, where they took on the number 3 team in the nation, which is Florida, and then a top 25 team in UNC. So the competition was elevated, and so did the Owls. They elevated their performance. They had a team score of 193.875. I was actually at this meet. Incredible atmosphere. Attendance was probably for most of those girls the most people they've ever competed in front of in an SEC environment. It was pretty electric, and the Owls walked away with obviously a much better score than the first meet. I think that just speaks to rattling off some of the nerves and also just elevating their performance to the competition, which you always want to see. I guess just to shout out a couple people. Again, Robin Dunn, she competed on 3 events. She scored a 9.8 on floor, which was her first time competing floor, so that's obviously really impressive. And then she also delivered a great beam performance.
And she won Owl of the Week this week.
And she did win Owl of the Week.
The Temple Owls.
So she's certainly off to a great start. Mm-hmm. Amelia Budd scored a 9.725. A 9.775 on vault. And Nikki Rengifo, I might be pronouncing that wrong, also scored a 9.8 on floor and a 9.8 on vault. So she had an incredible meet. So the Owls are getting contributions from a lot of people, and they will hopefully continue their success when they host a meet this upcoming weekend at home for Alumni Night. They will take on LIU, who is a conference opponent, and that meet is at 3 p.m. in McGonigal Hall. So if you're around this weekend, check out that dual meet, and hopefully the Owls continue to roll, continue to improve, and they compete just about every weekend. So you can get used to us talking gymnastics for the next several months.
Is that on Saturday, their meet?
That meet is on Saturday.
Okay.
So Saturday, 3 p.m., McGonigal Hall. You can check out.
And it's just them two, which isn't normal for gymnastics.
Yeah, so you see that, not often you get a dual meet. But the Owls have a couple home meets coming up. So this one, just LIU, and hopefully they can get a conference win. We can't talk lacrosse yet, right? You want to talk about your schedule?
I wish we could.
Your schedule just got released.
Schedule just got released, yeah.
What are your initial thoughts on that?
I mean, I've known for a couple months, I'm not going to lie, but I think it's a good schedule. I'm thinking we're going to have some wins in our future. So
I think so too. Do you want to just talk quickly about I know we're going to get into this more when the game's closer, but I saw that St. Joe's game has
which we've talked about a lot.
That
St.
has
Joe's.
I've noticed if you go to the Instagram.
Yes.
It's got a gray diamond, which signifies it's going to be played at a neutral location. Do you want to talk a little about it? Because I mean, put you on the spot here. I don't know what that neutral means. Could you give some insight?
That'll actually probably be, I think, my first neutral game ever. I think for basketball, that's pretty common, like when they go to Thanksgiving and stuff.
Sure.
But like for us, like this is not common. But basically, we're playing this game at Springfield High School, so in the Delco area.
I'm very familiar with that field.
Yes, and I think the purpose is just to kind of grow the game. It's 2 local Philly schools, so I think they want to bring in a good crowd, maybe some younger clubs and stuff, and just show them like this is like a real college game. For a lot of people, it's probably hard to get down on a weekday because this is going to be on a Wednesday, so usually it's hard to probably get down on a weekday after work and all that, and have kids come and see our games. But I think this is super cool for the Delco girls and the outside Philadelphia region.
Yeah, I love that. I didn't know that at all. I know you have a couple girls on your team from that area, so that'd be really cool for them. It's also, like you said, great for the sport. Also great for people to get eyes on Temple lacrosse program. It's a great opportunity for you guys. I'm hopefully going to get out to that meet on the 11th.
Game, not meet.
Meet. Obviously, I'm in gymnastics mode. Yeah. That game on the 11th would be really exciting. So obviously we'll talk more as we get closer, but I think it's good to shout that out.
First game, February 6th.
And as I pull up the Instagram, I'd be remiss if I didn't shout out that amazing team GPA that lacrosse posts. I can almost say confidently, without again knowing all the information, which is maybe not the greatest theme for this podcast.
A random stat.
You guys have to have the highest GPA in recent memory, 3.78. I'm reading 17 student athletes earned a perfect 4.0.
Yeah.
I mean, considering your team is I would say on the larger end in terms of like how many
we're
people are on the
we're over
roster.
30, so yeah, pretty big.
Yeah, so you have a 30 person roster. Over half the people have perfect 4.0. That's incredible.
It's wild.
You really put in the student athlete there. And congrats to lacrosse. I'll just say in advance for winning that team GPA award.
For the second semester in a row.
For the second semester in a row. So congratulations, and keep up the great work in the classroom.
Thank you.
Shall we move to you want to kick this? I mean, this is really your thing here.
We're done with our Temple recap. On to the
Temple
best
recap.
segment.
It was a great recap. We'll be back next week with hopefully more W's.
Yep.
More shout outs.
Of course.
But for
some
now,
conference wins in the future, I see.
I agree.
Yeah. So next segment, we're going to do our classic Temple takes. And we alluded to it earlier, new year, new pod. So that's going to be our kind of theme. Me and David are going to go through, like, I guess you would say, like, the average, like, maybe people's New Year's resolutions are kind of just ones that we hear a lot. And we're just going to hit you with the overrated, underrated.
Yeah, I mean, New Year's resolutions, everyone feels like they have maybe not written down, but they have something in mind. And we're going to go through some of the more common ones that we hear of.
Yeah.
And we're just going to give you our, like, overall take on it. And again, if you are someone who subscribes to these resolutions, like, don't take offense. This is just kind of our view on them. So with that being said, why don't you hit the first one here?
All right, let's start off with read more books.
Read more books. You know, could sound like one of those people, like, this day and age we're always on the phones and you got to put down the phone and pick up a book. There's definitely truth to that. There's no doubt. I will say, like, reading books is great, but yeah, I was gonna say it's overrated.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I'm trying to like sugarcoat it. I like to read, but
doesn't sound like it.
No, I do like to read. I just think I don't
think it's overrated.
Answer. I just think it's a little overrated. Like, I think it's good to read like things you're interested in, but for me, like, I'm interested in like reading about the news and reading about like just things that are like more up my alley, I should say. When I think like reading books, I just think like
fiction books.
Yeah, and like there's nothing wrong with that.
There's no rules on what you have to read.
I don't really, honestly, I kind of feel like I'm coming off as like not in a great way by this answer.
I think you're trying to sound like you're like this huge intellectual.
I'm not, but I just think like that as a resolution, I should say, that's overrated. As a hobby, it's not, but as a resolution, it is.
Okay, I'm going opposite of you. I'm thinking it's underrated, and I'm going to be honest, it was one of my goals this year. Like, I usually start the year off, and I'm like, before I go to sleep, I'll read, and I think it's really good to especially not to be on your phone, like, right before you go to bed, but it's good for your brain, like, just in general to read. So I'm going underrated. I think reading books is something I feel like has low-key gotten more, like, popularized recently, but I think it's a great thing to do, and you're wrong, David.
Yeah, I can take you out on that one. Let's move on to journaling, which I feel like, hey, this might be like, maybe this is a hot take in itself, but I feel like this is like the most common. This is like.
Really? You think so?
I feel like this is like the go-to resolution.
Okay.
Besides like the obvious one. But like, I feel like people are always like, oh, I'm gonna journal more. I'm gonna do this.
Yeah.
Like, and again,
And reflecting and stuff on,
again, like, not to like, again, I don't want to sound like that guy, but I just think it's a little overrated. Like, I think as a resolution, again, like, it's fine to journal, but like, the people are like, oh, I'm gonna journal every day, write down my thoughts. It's like, yeah, that might work, but I just feel like it's one of those things where like, the second that you stop doing it, you don't do it ever again. Like, it's one of those things where like you say, oh, I'm gonna journal every day, then you don't journal for a day, and you like can't pick up the pen again.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say overrated, just because I think it's one of those things where if you get off track for a day or two, like it's hard to get back on that path.
But are you a fan of it? Like, even if it's just like a hobby, like, oh.
No, I'm not.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna agree. I think journaling is overrated. Like, I don't know. Like, what's the point of writing stuff down? Like.
Yeah, I don't agree
like
with
your
that.
own thoughts.
I mean,
like I don't know. Like it's just like
I can like no. I see the value
emotional
in it.
reflection.
No, I do see the value in it, but it's just not for me. You know
I don't.
What I mean?
Yeah. Well, I'm saying it's not for me either. But
well, you're saying like it's not for me, and I don't understand anyone who does it.
No, I did not say that. I get that some people may think like.
Which is totally fair, by the way. No issue with that comment.
Yeah, it's just not for me. But I think some people have diaries and stuff, and.
Yeah, sometimes I don't want to.
And that works for them.
Sometimes I don't want to like think about the past. You know what I mean? You know,
honestly, same.
Like sometimes I just
leave the past in the past.
Yeah, sometimes I forget things and then someone reminds me, and I'm like, why did you remind me of that? Okay. Also, okay, wait, one more thing about the journal. Not to like beat a dead horse here, but like, do you think people who journal? Say you journal every single day. Do you find yourself like looking back?
That's my question too.
Or is it like maybe it's like a more in the moment, like makes you feel better? Whatever, doesn't matter. Just not for us. You're not gonna catch us walking around.
Yeah.
Writing stuff.
Temple
down.
Takes is not into journaling.
No. I think we've made that clear. Okay, what's this next one? I can't even read that.
Still on, like, I guess the writing process, but in a different aspect, procrastinating schoolwork. I feel like that's a big one. Usually people are like, oh, like in the fall semester, I let myself go. Maybe you got senioritis like David. And you started procrastinating, and then people are like, oh, new year, new semester, and I'm gonna be on top of my schoolwork. And I think...
And I feel like that's so common. Like people might be listening. Like, what are you talking? Like everyone says, "Oh, I'm not gonna procrastinate." It might not be schoolwork. It might be something else. Like I'm not gonna wait to reach out to that friend. I'm not gonna wait to do this. Yeah. What's your take on that?
I don't know. I feel like as a resolution, it's not the best. But like, I don't know. Now you got me kind of confused on resolution versus like life goal, and I think I'm overthinking everything.
Yeah, I can tell you're not really prepared to answer this one.
Yeah, you can start.
Yeah, I'm going to say, because I've been both overrated. I'll just stick with the overrated theme. So procrastinating, like, I get why it causes problems, but I'm a believer in, okay, if that's what's worked for you, then, like, the New Year's resolution of, like, you're not going to do that anymore just seems counterintuitive to me. If that's been working for you and you've been doing well, like, doesn't feel like you need to change it because maybe it's maybe a little counterculture. I feel like it's frowned upon to procrastinate. You can hear that and you're like, oh, you shouldn't do that. But I find like sometimes, like for me, like procrastinating isn't the worst way to go about my business.
Yeah.
It's not. I'm not saying it's the best. I'm saying it's not the worst. Like
sometimes you work well.
There are some times where it just makes me put a better output out, and I'm talking more specifically for schoolwork, and that's not the way for everybody. Like some people can't function that way. That's fine. But for me as a resolution, I just think like if you're someone who like doesn't do well when they procrastinate, then like that could be a fair resolution. But for me, I'm saying it's overrated because I think procrastinating is one of those things where like everyone wants to blame. That's why they're not doing well. I think that's like an easy way out. That's my take.
Okay. I think I'm going to go overrated too, but like not for whatever you just explained. I'm going to say just because like for me, like I love being organized, and I think like if I have 5 assignments due on Friday, like I'm going to start them on Monday, and I don't get how some people can't like do that. Or some people are like, some people just push things off, and I guess it does work for them, but like for me, that's not going to be a resolution. Like if you're going to do something, just do it. Why not do it now?
Yeah, no, that's fair. I can understand that. This was a popular one, eating healthy. Yeah, I mean, I've been saying overrated a lot, and I'm not just going to say underrated, just because, but this one is underrated just because, like, it's one of those things where you think, like, oh, I don't need to eat healthy or whatever, but then, like, you start doing it, and you're like, you just feel better.
Mm-hmm.
It's like one of my resolutions was, like, I just want to cook more. like I want to make more of my own meals, and I think like there is something to be said about like when you eat something healthy,
You feel better.
not just like how you feel like because you ate like a grilled chicken instead of eating like some fried chicken from like Popeyes or whatever. Like there's that feeling, but there's also like just like mentally, I feel like you just feel like more accomplished when you do that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think eating healthy for me is like multifaceted and not just like nutritionally beneficial, but also like I just feel like more accomplished. I feel like just better about that meal. So I think it's underrated for that reason.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you. I think for some reason, like, this is the New Year's resolution I think I fall into every year. But I think this year, like, I came back to school and I already, like, meal prepped and stuff. And, like, genuinely, I do feel better. Like, it's so much easier just having, like, a meal ready to go rather than being like, oh, now I have to chop up my vegetables and then go do all that. So, like, I'm agreeing with you. I think along with eating healthy, I think organizing like my food and planning it out has helped me feel better about it too, and then I just feel better in the long run. And I think as athletes, like, also you start to learn, like, the longer you're in college, how important fueling is. And I think if I saw my freshman year diet now as a fifth year, I would be shaking as like what I ate.
Yeah, I agree.
Those dining hall meals, unreal.
Yeah, I actually have thoughts on dining hall. Maybe for another podcast. At the end of last semester, someone took me to the dining hall.
I love the dining hall.
It's very different from when I was a freshman.
Yeah, different. You didn't have the Morgan dining hall.
I think we have like one of those weeks where it's like a little slower. We could just talk dining hall.
We could do that.
I don't know how
I'm passionate about the dining hall. I'm not gonna lie.
Interested the audience would be, but let's circle back on that.
Okay.
All right, let's move to hot yoga, which, by the way, like, I feel like last couple of years this has gotten really popular.
For sure.
And something I'm gaining curiosity over, not just because of Lane Kiffin, who is a very controversial figure, but he does hot yoga every single day. I just thought I should mention that.
He does have abs too.
Yeah, he looks great. But hot yoga.
It was funny that you mentioned this to me because I just came from hot yoga, actually. We had an off day for lacrosse.
Would you look at that?
Yeah, and I thought you were joking when you said it. I thought maybe you had seen an Instagram post, but I mean, I've never even tried like a yoga class before this year, and now my teammate has an NIL deal with it, and I love it. I think it's such a great time, and when we do it though, it's a lot of stretching, so it feels really good. You get a little sweat on, and I'm going hot yoga is underrated.
Yeah,
so.
I'd say underrated. I love the sweat, especially when I'm working out. Okay, I love the sweat when I'm working out. I'm not like I'm not getting ready for bed.
Sitting here sweating is awesome.
No. I like to, like, when I work out, I like to sweat.
Same.
I think hot yoga is like super difficult, but again, going back to the eating healthy thing, like, it's like mentally great. Obviously, physically, it's good for you. I think it's the reason I'm drawn to it is because I just think it's so hard, like, mentally, when you're just like, I feel like the exercises are so humbling. Like,
they are.
At least for myself, I'm not the most flexible human. Like, when you're just like in that position, when it's like just so hot in that room, I feel like you're just humble a little bit. And I kind of like that feeling.
Yeah.
And then obviously when you're done, it's just like you just feel like you kind of feel like you just did something impossible. Which obviously it isn't. But yeah, I am. This is one of the only resolutions on this segment that I will actively be trying to implement into my 2026.
That's so funny. I feel like there's like maybe a stigmatism. What do you say? Stigma about guys like doing yoga. Because I've never done a class and had a guy in there.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I see. I'm just I'm breaking stigmas.
Yeah.
But I don't know how accurate that is.
I'm saying for personal experience. I said a class that I've been in.
Oh, okay. I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm sure
that's a stat that I know is true because it's my own.
Are you sure
eyes.
you've never seen a dude in your class?
David's been yelling at me all day, guys. It's our first pod back. I thought we were going to bring the energy and have a great time.
We are.
And he's all right. So mad at me.
No, I'm not. Let's
move on to the next one.
I'm just questioning if that's okay, maybe you're right.
It kind of goes in with the hot yoga, exercise more. I feel like that's always one that people have. I mean, as T1 athletes, I don't really know if to an extent, we probably shouldn't exercise more.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely like, it's hard. Like, I feel like everyone, you go to the gym nowadays, it's packed, whatever. Yeah, is it overrated, underrated? I don't know. It's probably just properly rated. Like, yeah, everyone
Like
could probably
exercising is worth it.
Everyone could probably use a little more exercise.
Yeah. I'd
I
probably
don't-
agree with
I don't
you.
need to like beat down this one. I think
Yeah.
it's the most popular one, and like February rolls around and people are like off it immediately. I
Gym's
think,
empty in February.
yeah, it's just like I think everyone could use a little more exercise.
Yeah. I'm going underrated because I'm not gonna fall for your thing to do the rated. It's just not how we do Temple Takes. But
I mean, some people do rate it. I have immense amount of respect for that.
I'm going underrated. A new thing I'm trying to do more this semester is walk more. I think it's good for recovery. It's good for just the brain to be
Okay.
outside.
I'm gonna come across like a hater, especially after that little rant you went on about
my
me being
gosh.
mean. Like, and people know like I am a runner. I'm on the cross country and track team. Blah blah blah. I hate walking. Like I absolutely hate walking. Like, and
You just said people should exercise more, and then
yeah,
you're like, I
that's
hate
fine.
walking.
I hate walk. Like if someone's like, you want to go on a walk with me, I want to throw up in my mouth. Like
That's insane. But you want to do a 6-mile run?
100. Like it's just so different. Like
You're mentally,
if
like,
someone's like, let's go for a
insane.
walk, I'm like, I don't want to. There's no part of me that wants to go on a walk.
Yeah, I'd rather go for a walk any day over.
Like,
a
I
run.
was on vacation over break on the beach. Every day, my mom would be like, "You want to go on a walk? Like, do you want to walk?
Beach walks are the best.
You want to go on a 5-mile walk? No, I don't want to go for a 5-mile walk, Mom. I want to sit on the beach. Like, okay, like, and you know, walks on the beach are traditionally nice. 5 miles? Can we get real?
Bro.
So
okay.
no, I'm sorry to go on that tangent, but like walking, like no,
Okay, I'm disagreeing with you. So
it's fine.
walking is awesome. And it's good for
Exercise,
health.
yes, but I mean, we know people love the Stairmaster. We don't have to get into that.
Okay, last one. Consistent sleep schedule. Waking up early, consistent sleep schedule.
Going to bed early, waking up early.
Yeah,
blah,
I
blah,
heard
blah.
you're supposed to go to bed. This is like from, I guess our nutrition team talks about this. You're supposed to go to sleep within the same like hour window and wake up within the same hour window. Like that's good for your body to get into a rhythm. And I feel like I've gotten into a rhythm. I mean, it's pretty easy when we have practices and stuff, especially in the morning, but I like waking up around the same time every day and going into bed at the same time every day.
Yeah.
So I'm going underrated. Consistent sleep schedule is very valued in my life.
Yeah,
My
that's
parents
great.
are probably like rolling their eyes because when I was home over break, I was sleeping till 10 a.m. every day.
That's awesome though.
But like
I
once I
love
get back to
sleeping,
school,
yeah.
my body wakes up at 7:30.
Yeah, consistent sleep schedule. Yeah, it is probably underrated. Just because, like you said, like when you go to bed at the same time, you wake up at the same time, like you feel better. It's just really hard to practice. I mean, especially like weekends.
It takes
you get
like
an
a
off
week
day.
though, I feel like, and then you
Yeah,
get used to it.
you know what helps is having a routine. When you're
Yes,
like when
for
you go
sure.
to when you have school and you have practice, like
Mhm.
that definitely benefits us more just because a lot of our lives are structured.
For sure.
Just with the practice schedules, the class schedules. So a lot of that's built in, which I do like and appreciate.
Mhm.
I think it's also underrated. Just in fact, like when the weekends come around and you just want to sleep all day, when you actually have to get up, I just think
And go on a walk maybe.
yeah, that no, not that. You have that routine. I think it certainly helps. So
Yeah.
I honestly came around a lot more of these than I
Okay.
started off like all overrated.
Yeah, you were-
and then
you were hot on the overrateds.
I came back strong with the underrateds.
New year, new David.
That was a fun little segment.
Yeah.
New year.
I'm sure everyone cares about our opinion on that.
Yeah, maybe they got some.
Maybe they agree and they'll
maybe
tell us on
Maybe
Insta.
listen to the podcast. And like, yeah, I'm putting on the journal. Like, who knows? Okay, let's move to my favorite segment. Did I have a list back? Why did I sound like that?
You
Let's
just said
move-
it really fast.
let's
David's favorite
Let's move
segment.
to my favorite segment.
Segment.
I can't talk. Owl or foul?
Mm-hmm.
An owl. Pretty self-explanatory.
Something that is soaring upward.
Actually, it's not self-explanatory at all.
Yeah. Something that's a bird that is
An
our
owl
mascot.
an owl is something that is soaring upwards.
Shout out the American Conference
Mascot.
mascot. I was gonna say bird because now you got me all messed up with the words. It's been a month. We got to get back into our
A little out of rhythm here.
yeah. SOAR, the American Conference mascot.
That is correct. And the foul is self-explanatory.
Yes.
That's something that needs to be improved.
Yes.
Owl, I mean, who else but men's basketball? Because they're on an absolute heater right now.
We could even go specifically LeBron frames.
We could go with frames. We could go with frames. We got the whole team, that whole program,
Mm-hmm.
just completely dominating the last 2 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
2.5 weeks.
Love to see
Let's
it.
keep it rolling. I'd love to just see a couple wins come in this week. I feel really good about the season.
Uh-huh.
Playing that similar hand, I guess the foul is the attendance at said basketball games.
Mm-hmm.
We mentioned earlier, you were in attendance, ECU over break.
Yep.
Said you had a great time, little hat giveaway.
For sure.
Watching frames dunk on people left and right, knocking down 3-pointers.
Getting blocks. It was awesome.
And honestly, I think as the new year comes around, we're getting back to school. Obviously, December is a hard month. Kids go back.
Mm-hmm.
Students go back home. Let's really get our attendance up at these games as we have conference play. We're going to have big matchups across the board, men's and women's.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't just go for those sports. We obviously have lacrosse. We have gymnastics. We have fencing. All of these sports have home competitions. Let's show out and support each other, especially for basketball.
Mm-hmm.
They have, a number of games each week. Let's just do a better job as a student body and obviously alumni. I always see courtside alumni, getting really excited. That always fires me up. But yeah, let's show out for our basketball teams and our other sports as this new year comes upon us. So that's it for me. You got any closing thoughts?
No. I mean, me and David are always at the basketball games, so.
We're at the games.
Everyone needs to follow our lead and chirp the other team, bring the energy.
Yeah, and if, also I think one other thing I'd like to shout out is look for us on campus. We're going to be doing some campus promotional stuff. I'm putting it out there on the podcast, so we have to follow through. So then we have to do
it. It's a resolution of ours.
It's a resolution to just get more content out for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
So if you see us on campus with a mini mic and we have a question, swing by, answer it, and then listen to the podcast.
Yeah.
So that's all I have. Glad to be back, season 2.
Mm-hmm.
And go Owls.
Go Owls.